Shalom, shalom, Israel. It's your brother Rajai coming at you again, always being led by the Spirit, bringing you the words of the Most High in truth and sincerity. I say shalom to you, giving all praises, of course, to our Heavenly Father Yahweh, and through His Son Yahweh Shai, so that we're able to teach this truth and sincerity in the same spirit of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Double honors and salutations to our apostles and elders over at Great Millstone, teaching 144% of the truth in His word day in and day out. For our hopeful elect. Shalom to you, men of the Lord and brothers that are out teaching His word, apostles in the same spirit of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, day in and day out, preaching the word in the true spirit. I say shalom to you. And to our 1/3 of Israelites that are keeping the laws to your best ability, keeping the laws and commandments to your best ability, I say shalom to you. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Always being led by the Spirit, to get into these lessons and really be edifying, so I always open up with that. Shalom, Israel. So what I wanted to, or what I'm going to basically call this lesson today is, we're going to start with John 24, and I'm going to title this, In Spirit and in Truth, okay? And I say that because, when we come into this and we start laboring and doing this work, it is through the Spirit. It's through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, that is placed on us, that we're able to diligently do this work and study and to grow in the faith, and being tested through the trials and tribulations, as Scripture says. We're going to go through a lot of these things, but the Spirit is going to prove us. So this basically, like I said, always through the Spirit, hopefully it edifies, a hopeful elect out there, in truth and sincerity. So with that being said, I wanted to start out in the book of John, the 4th chapter, and read from 22 to 24. But basically, I wanted to focus on verse 24, where it says, God is a spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in truth and in spirit and in truth, Salakia. All right. So I'm gonna jump up to verse 22, begin there, and grab some precepts as well. So, Salakia. So it reads John 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not. John 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Okay, so going back, in this in the book of John, this chapter basically deals. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. You can see in the letters in red. So Yahweh Shai is talking to the Samaritan lady at the well, and how the story goes that he, asks her for a drink of water, right? And they get into the conversation, and he then gets into saying that, through the Spirit, that he has the, because it's Yahweh Shai, but she doesn't know it yet. But he can give her the living water, right? Which is, through the Spirit, which is that salvation, that Israel seeks, okay, but have not yet obtained, all right? Because prophecy has to be filled. So it says, ye worship, ye know not what. We worship. We know what we worship, for salvation for the Jews. So our hopeful elect, right, that are ordained to get this, know what we worship, right? We know who we serve, right? We know the Lord, because the Bible was left, the Bible was left for the descendants of Israel, okay, and mainly that elect, that 144,000 that's going to be woken up through the Spirit and going to go through, the Bible and read these verses, and the Lord is going to place that Spirit on them and wake them up to His truth, and through studying and diligence and researching, right, and surrounding yourself with, like-minded brethren, that are in the truth, that are on one accord, right? And that's the thing, that, the Spirit, is not in disaccord. When it's speaking about this truth, okay, it's all on one accord, all right? And that's through the Spirit. The same way as the prophets always spoke on the same accord, in different time periods, even though things happen at different points in time, right? All the prophets, prophesied the same thing, okay? And that's the hand of the Lord. That's the Spirit. So we know what we worship, but the 2/3 out there, right, in the heathen nations, they don't know who they worship, right? They worship in vanity. And when we come out and preach His word, when we bring these scriptures, this word of life to our people, they don't understand. They don't get it because they're worshiping, the vanity things of this world. They're worshiping the things of this world and not according to the scriptures, right? Verse 23, it reads, "But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship Him," right? So that's why the Most High is calling His elect, right? Because it tells us right there. It says, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship. So the Most High, right? Yahweh had ordained, his elect, from ancient days, right? From ancient days until now, because we know that the number is going to be sealed. Okay, so we know that number is going to be sealed, and throughout generation and generation, Most High is calling His ordained people from that generation, from that time period, that these men have that spirit, right? Which are basically, the spirit of the Most High, the elect. And that's what the Most High is calling. So these are the men that's going to worship, okay? These are the men that are going to worship in truth and, and truth and in spirit, which means that they given that understanding, right? They open up to this knowledge, this wisdom, to know these scriptures, right? And the Most High is dwelling with them, okay? He's dwelling with that hopeful elect because He poured His Spirit out into them to get this word that's been ordained, right? So that's why we have understanding when we go out and preach, when we bring out this word. Like, not everybody's gonna, not everybody's gonna accept it, right? Not everybody is, gonna believe their own. But we know that this word has to go out, as prophecy. The word has to go out, to the whole world, in order for God, for the Most High to bring down His judgment, and things to be sealed, so that there'll be nobody on earth that can say that this word wasn't brought to them, because the Most High has, Yahweh has has His prophets, has those ordained people that's going to receive the word, those men of the Lord that are going to get the understanding. All right, so they're going to get the understanding. They're going to, the Most High is going to open them up to His knowledge. Okay, and the Spirit is going to dwell in them. Again, and it reads, "But the hour cometh and is now." So back in that time when Yahweh was speaking, the hour cometh and is now. That was going on back then. That the Most High was sealing, right? He was sealing His elect, right? Didn't Yahweh have His disciples, and weren't there apostles after that? So the Most High had ordained these things already. So we know what we worship, because once the elect comes into this truth, comes into this word, it automatically Spirit starts to pour out on them, right? So it opens them up, and the Most High gives them that knowledge, all right? The Most High gives them that understanding. So let me pull out a couple of precepts. Sorry. Isaiah 29, verse 13. All right, listen to this. "Wherefore the Lord said, For as much this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips, do not honor me, do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is
is taught by the precept of men, right? So you gotta pay attention to that, right? I'm gonna read it again. It says, Isaiah 29 verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, right? So what is that saying? People hear the word, especially in these churches, right? When this gospel goes out, it's being taught. It's being taught that we have a heavenly Father. Okay. But is that according to the Spirit of Yahweh Shai Mashiach? No, not according to the Spirit. Because the truth isn't being brought out in the churches. But it says here, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed from their heart far from me. Right? So you got you got your people that are going out into these churches, and even people on the streets that prophesy this word, or that preach this word rather. Okay, they preach this word, they preach the gospel. They say, but not according to the Spirit. It says, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. So this religion thing and Christianity and all that, other religions, that the world has taught our people, right? Has taught our people, this image, okay? You see this one here, all these false images, and don't preach the people of the Most High, which are Jew Israelites, who are the so-called Black Native American, Seminole Indian, Mexican, Spanish, that, precepts of the Bible, the scripture, the Most High people are, okay? But they don't teach that in church. It says, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. So they're not taught through the Spirit of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. In these churches, they're taught, the image of the world, and the way they conform, the whole world, and false entities, the image and the teachings, okay? Because they don't, like I said, they don't teach according to the Spirit. Alright? It says that, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me. So, it's saying people should love God, and that, they have a relationship with God, this and that, but it's not about, right? It says it's not about what you confess, it's not about what you confess. It says, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart. Heart means mind, have removed their heart far from me. So we come out, the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, come out and preach to you, give you the understanding and breakdown, right? And go through these verses, right? Our men in the Lord, starting with great millstone, go through these verses, our prophets, how we teach what happens is that but this is what happens, but have removed their heart far from it. So they don't receive the word that we preach, right? They don't receive the word of our prophet, according to scripture, according to what we read, right? The Spirit. That's what our prophets have always been doing. Our people, our 2/3, have always, it's the same thing, have been rejecting the Most High. They don't accept these things that we bring out. They don't accept this truth. Okay? Because they feel comfortable, in that Christianity, the religion that they're in, because it allows them to do basically what they want to do, and serve, how they want to serve. The Most High has a structure. Yahweh has a structure, okay, and an order to the things which He commands. So we have to follow, we have to follow that instruction. We have to follow the way things are set up. But our people, especially the 2/3, video messing up damn devil, YouTube messing, not even YouTube, this is my own video, must be my memory. Alright, Lord willing, I finish this video. So, like I was saying, our people are stuck in this, American spirit mentality,
where they do what they want. They don't accept when we bring out, you know, these scriptures through the Spirit. Right? Isaiah 1, verse 10. Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah. Right? So we know America to be, you know, Sodom and Egypt, you know, spiritually, because of the things that are going on in this nation, the things that are going on in this country, right? The laws that are being passed, basically, you know, you have your, you know, gay rights, you have your, they're teaching, you know, they're teaching this in some of the school systems now, right? You have your transgenders, all these, you know, wicked thing abominations according to, you know, the laws that, you know, in this country you're allowed to do. And that's the spirit of America. Slaki, all right. Moving on, Romans chapter 1, verse 9, and it reads, For God is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit in the gospel of his Son, that without ceasing I make mention of you always in my prayers. I wanted to bring out spirit as well, look into that really quick, right? Because it's important to understand, you know, through the spirit. I know we say it a lot of times, but we have to have an understanding as well. But let me pull up another precept really quick. Galatians chapter 4, verse 6, and it reads, And because ye are sons, God hath sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father, right? So the Spirit of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, okay? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you know, that we have that Spirit, you know, in us, that we're able to give an understanding that the Lord reveals to us these things, because these things can't be understood just by, you know, reading, just by coming in on your own. You know, you see teachers out there that try to teach under their own understanding, and you'll find that, you know, that to be, you know, things that don't match up with the Holy Spirit, right? So these things are actually, you know, not, you know, according to the Spirit of the Most High, right? So these people that out there teaching, that out there doing on their own accord, you know, are leading our people astray. So they know not who they worship, right? Joshua 24:14, right? And it reads, Now therefore fear the Lord, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. So, right, so the Most High is telling our people to this day, right, even back then and to this day, to put away those idols, to put away those things that 2/3 of our people are worshiping, come out of that, you know, American spirit, come out of the oppressor worshiping that a lot of our people are slacking. That a lot of our people are into, and not, you know, ignorantly, but not knowing, most of them, you know, basically, you know, have some sort of understanding, right? But as you can see, the truth is coming out, right? The truth is coming out, and our people, you know, are still not accepting it, which goes back to they know not who they worship, right? But we know the 144 of the elect, you know, men of the Lord know who they're worshiping. So it reads again, John 4:23. Now ye fear the Lord and serve in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. All right.